The answer choices here tell me I better think about sentence structure. The punctuation here varies a lot. We have very strong punctuation marks like the semicolon in A and the colon in D. So in order to use those, we have special rules we need to follow. For the semicolon, most of the time, we're going to need to have a complete sentence both before and after the semicolon. Basically, it functions like a period. For the colon, we need to have a sentence before. We have some flexibility with what comes after. It could be another sentence. It could be just one word. It could be a list. We've got a lot of options, but that first part is really not up for debate. So that would be the first thing I'd check. Let's just see, could we end the sentence there after this guy's name or person's name? In 2018, the innovative works of Congolese sculptor and architect Boris Isaac-Kingeles. How does that sound? To me, it sounds like I just stopped short, right? It sounds like I didn't get to my point. So that is a sign that that part at the beginning is not a complete sentence. So A and D are both telling me to stop, but there is no reason to stop. We haven't gotten to where we need to go. This sentence hasn't had a verb yet. So we need to be careful of that. But luckily, these weird punctuation marks have such consistent rules that those are much easier to follow than things like commas. So let's take a look now at B and C. A comma is still a pause. It's still a break. So we still need to think about the structure, but hopefully you can kind of maybe hear how this sentence is built. In 2018, the innovative works of Congolese sculptor and architect Boris Isaac-Kingeles were featured in City Dreams, a solo exhibition at New York's Museum of Modern Art. So there are two parts of the sentence I don't care about. This part at the beginning is clearly just an intro with the year. The comma tells me that. And then here at the end, another comma tells me we are just describing this exhibition, City Dream. So it's also extra. The main part of the sentence is going to include the blank and nothing else. So there's no other commas, there's no other punctuation. So we want that yellow to just flow together as a single idea, which is why choice C is the answer. We don't need to put a comma. Even if you take a breath after this person's name because it's so hard to pronounce, then you cannot just say, oh, well, I took a breath, I need a pause, I need a comma. That's not what commas do. Commas are structural. They're about where different parts of the sentence meet. And here we don't have different parts of a sentence. We just have the sentence itself. And so we don't want to interrupt that flow. We don't want to insert a break for no reason. We just want it all to go together. And that's why we don't use punctuation. So if you are just, starting for the PSAT, you might not have a deep grammar sense. With practice, you will get better at knowing when commas are used and they're not. A lot of times you can just think of a comma as a pause, but when it comes time for the SAT, that better not be your reason for commas. The rules for commas are much more grammatical than just how something sounds. So we need to understand that a comma is a break in the structure of the sentence, and there are reasons why we include them or not. And so if you know those rules, then whenever commas come up, you'll be fine about knowing exactly whether or not you should put one. And this is a case where I think by listening, you can hear we don't need it, but some of you may just be nervous and be like, oh, let me put commas in there because you already see commas in the sentence. Don't do that. Anytime you place a comma, you better have a reason for it.